Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Adam here with Indie Farm Life. Today I'm going to walk you guys through how to build a tray ceiling like you see here above me in this bedroom. Now some people call this a drop ceiling or putting in a bulkhead, but I've always referred to it as a tray ceiling. I'm sorry guys, no tractors in this video other than my deer hoodie. I told you guys at the start this channel was going to be random. Before we dive into the details, I'll at least give you guys a quick shot of this ceiling. As you can see here, it's just a 1 foot step down around the perimeter of the room to give the ceiling a little bit of a more detailed custom look. Now there are two different methods you can utilize to build such a ceiling. One is called the built up or built in method. It involves a whole lot more forethought and planning and typically needs to be included in the blueprint phase of your new construction build. You probably could retro it in, but I would guess it'd be extremely expensive and definitely not a DIY project. That is not what I'm doing here. And the second way to do it is the build down method, which is what you see behind me. So we'll start with materials. I bet I don't have more than $200 in this, maybe $250. Bucket of screws, some 1/2 inch OSB, and 2x4s, and that's all it takes to achieve this look. So step one in this build was to get the necessary fire blocking in place. And if you're not familiar with what fire blocking is, you're looking at it right there on the back wall, this back sheet of OSB and this top sheet of OSB. So let's say that this room is completely finished and this wall is drywalled in front of me, and that outlet were to catch fire in the wall and the fire ran up the wall between the studs. The piece of OSB that we added stops the fire from jumping out into the cavity we just built because there is, as you know, a top plate up there that sandwiches it all together. So it prevents the fire from getting into the attic system and spreading throughout the house. And then this top sheet of OSB does the same thing. Kind of, let's say you had electrical running through this new cavity as well. And actually there's some speaker wire over here for illustrative purposes we can use. But let's say that wire were to catch fire and this top sheet of OSB was not here. It's not going to get drywalled since it's going to be drywalled on the underside. That fire could again jump into the attic system and spread rapidly throughout the house. So that's a code element of this that you want to be sure you take into consideration. Hopefully that makes sense. Obviously this is all wood and it will burn. But the point of the fire blocking is to limit the amount of oxygen that the fire can have access to and prevent easy spread of the fire from room to room. Okay, so off my soapbox about fire blocking, but it's a necessary step. So again, the first thing I did was ripped 12-inch pieces of 1/2 inch OSB and stuck it up against the wall all the way around the room. And that was my first set of fire blocking. But after I had that 12-inch piece of OSB drop down, I then cut 23-inch wide piece of OSB and stuck it up against the ceiling because we're trying to achieve a 2 foot wide and 12-inch drop. So with the 1/2 inch OSB here, a 23-inch run of OSB across the top, plus this ultimate 1/2 inch OSB, which I'll get to at the end, brings us to 24 inches. And then this face will be drywalled, and as will this. So step one, ring the room with OSB. Step two, ring the ceiling with OSB. And here are a few pictures of the fire blocking as I was putting it up on the side wall and on the ceiling. I think this gives you a little bit better idea of the process. So now that you have your fire blocking, your 2 pieces of OSB up there, it's then time to move on to building what I call the short walls, or the 2x4s you're looking at right there. So what I did was basically build a small wall on the floor, a 2x4 bottom plate, some, call them studs, 16 inches on center, and then a 2x4 top plate. That total there is 23 inches. You got a top and bottom plate good for 3 inches, and then a 20-inch run between. And so I built those sections, and then my buddy Nick actually helped me hang those up on the ceiling because it wasn't really a one-person job at that point. And so after you build those half walls or bulkheads, whatever you want to call them, on the ground, you then need to prep the area to hang them. So looking back at this 23-inch piece of OSB I put across the top, the next thing I did was tuck a 2x4 at the edge of that, the length of the room. You can kind of see it peeking through there. So That then gave me a place to screw this sheet of OSB. Now this sheet of OSB is not a required fire block. I mean, it is fire block ultimately, but I don't believe it's a code item since this will have drywall on it in the end. So at this point you have the back sheet of OSB, the top sheet of OSB, a 2x4 on the edge of the OSB out here, which will allow you to run around the room and affix this 12-inch piece of OSB. So the last step is going to be to lift up these little short walls that I've been calling them, half walls, and pin them into place. Now let me show you a little trick to make life easier. In addition to having a second set of hands around, you also may want to take some screws, every couple studs, and put them at the base of this OSB. So that way when you swing, as I've been calling this short or half wall, up into position, you can rest the weight on these screws while you work to kind of pull this piece of OSB out a little bit and tuck this edge of the wall in place. You can put a screw or two in the face of this to hold it, and this back section won't go anywhere because the weight will be resting on that wall. If you don't have a second set of hands, you could build the entire thing on the fly up there piecemeal, but it seems a whole lot more labor intensive than building most of it on the ground. I did have to do that in the corners a little bit. You can see there where I came back and pieced these few little blocks in. The lumber I had wasn't long enough to span the entire room, so I just built 12 or 14 foot runs, then blocked in what I could. One other item I didn't touch on is, depending upon how your joists in your room run, you're going to have to probably add some blocking to give yourself a place to screw that 2x4 on the inside we were talking about and the OSB that's up on the ceiling. So you can see all my blocking here between the joists, since the joists run front to back in this room. Going this way I had no problem at all. We have plenty of joists to hit as I'm screwing stuff in, but when you go the opposite direction, had to add all this blocking. Perhaps looking down at this way makes more sense. If this blocking that I put was not here, you would have nothing to screw all of this to into the ceiling. So it's not an overly complex project. I think for me on the front end, the biggest to do was figuring out the fire blocking and making sure I was doing things according to code. So hopefully this will help you. And you can play with the height of the drop if you want. In our case, we did a 1 foot drop, started with 10-foot ceilings, and so the ring or the drop down brings the ceiling height to 9 foot. It also gives you a nice place to be able to run wires. So there you go, you can see some speaker wire tucked up there that I showed you earlier. It's a nice cavity to be able to run stuff if you need to. And ultimately, when this is drywalled and finished, we're going to put crown molding on the inside of this tray and drop rope lighting into it. So we'll have some rope lighting illuminating up on the ceiling, which should be a pretty cool piece. Also, you can add a tray ceiling to really any room that you want. It doesn't have to be new construction. So if you have a room that you want a tray ceiling in, you can build it out just like this on top of the drywall that's already existing in your home. That's even easier than what I did here because you don't need to add the back sheet and the top sheet of OSB because the drywall you have in place already acts as your fire stop. Now, finding your attachment points or your studs could be a little bit more difficult, but definitely doable. Another thing I would recommend having is a table saw to do this project. Ripping all that OSB with a skill saw can be done, but it's best to have real clean, straight edges when you make those cuts. Hopefully that was helpful for some of you guys out there trying to figure out how to frame a tray ceiling. It's not that difficult of a job, really. Like I said, at the outset of this, understanding the fire blocking was the biggest question mark for me. But thanks for swinging through our channel and checking out this video. There probably will be a handful more videos related to house building as I navigate this process. But then, when this spring breaks, we'll return to your usual scheduled programming of tractors, backhoes, chainsaws, and all the fun stuff that goes along with that. Hit that subscribe button and come back and see us, guys. Take care.